It's What's
like,
Up
who
It.
am I? What's up?
Episode 956. What's up, everybody?
Oh, man.
What's going on over there, Sarah?
Oh, I'm feeling so much better this week. Susie knows, had a full-blown hormonal breakdown where, when you're on the hormone replacement therapy, things can go haywire.
Things happen.
Sometimes. They can switch the brand of your patch, and the next thing you know, your estrogen is low for 10 days, and you are a crazy person who can't stop crying. And I mean,
That's
I
so
could not stop
sad.
crying. I woke up at 2:30 in the morning to cry. What?
Yes. That was it was sad though. I know it's funny now because you feel regulated, but that was really sad to observe.
That is, and it was very helpful that the people who love me and know me were like, this is hormonal. Because
Yeah.
I wasn't able to see it until it was really bad.
Yeah. Because you were spiraling.
It was like, and now when I reflect over the things that I spiraled about, like I cried about getting the wrong kind of seeing eyeglasses, which is something that you should not cry about.
Seeing eyeglasses.
Well, as opposed to like blue light glasses or something.
I see.
But
Okay.
I cried because I failed to get bifocals and I got close-up lenses, and that seemed to be enough to send me over
set
the
you
edge.
off. Yeah.
That's a problem.
And then she got this haircut, which I think we can all agree with our eyes, with our seeing eyeglasses, that it is a very cute haircut. And she looks darling.
Thank you.
And that girl was losing her mind.
Her mind.
It's just so sad you were. You were so sad.
Had they not realized that there was something actually wrong with my estrogen patch, I took an estrogen tie that my doctor was like, yep, there's something wrong. Give me the test. And they're like, oh, turns out you're right. This is way too low.
Yeah.
I was one day away from Britney Spears' umbrella shaving head.
I've been there.
Umbrella. One day. I was like, don't fucking try me. Like, I could feel it. I could feel
felt like
that. And then and the worst was that this is exactly why I don't do psychedelic drugs like that. Like I can only smoke pot because I'm like aware of what's happening to my brain as the things are happening. So just like when I did mushrooms and I was like, oh my God, I feel what's going on with my brain. And like, I'm aware of this. That's what it felt like in those moments where I'm like, I know what's rational. I know that this is not. I know that this is crazy, but I still can't control this reaction. And I called my doctor and I'm like, I cried in my therapy session and I wasn't the client. And then the doctor was very funny on the phone. She goes, well, did you tell her it was hormones? And I was like, no, I just told her the rules are as long as she's crying more than I'm crying, then it's okay. And then we both had a good laugh about that because it was emotional. I mean, it was like an appropriate, not like I'm crying out of nowhere.
To be honest with you, I wish they would cry more often, therapists.
Well, I'm your gal because I was like, it was emotional. I felt all the feelings, but then I was like, oh God, I'm crying in my, I gotta apologize for this to my client. And now everything's fine. And then as soon as I said that, my doctor was like, oh my God, yes, let's get you on, let's get things checked. And now we're fine. So
it just feels like this should be more standard. Like, I don't understand why they're still tweaking. You know what I mean?
Because everything was fine, but I had my medication delivered to me instead of picked it up.
Yeah.
Because I'm in a fight with Walgreens. Just
I love how you always get into fights with
corporations, and they don't know I'm in a fight with them, and it's not going to do anything for them. It's one-sided. Also, Target, I'm doing really good. And I really do think that their shareholders are suffering because of me. So, so I'm in a fight with Walgreens. So I transferred it to be delivered, but and it came from a different manufacturer. And because the different my skin just, it's like a patch, you know? And so my skin didn't absorb it right or whatever. I got a bad batch, or it got too hot in the car that it was being transported in or something like that. But I had a bad batch and it was not effective. And when they tested my levels, they were like, yep, nope, you're correct. Which then makes me feel good because it was in fact not me, and I am not.
Oh, Sarah, I know that feeling.
That is like, oh, thank God.
Guess what happened?
What? Wait, with the MRI?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. What?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well.
Look at this. Has turned into a podcast for aging ladies.
I know, right?
If you're an aging lady, this might be the show for you. Are you?
If you're disgusting and smug, this is the show for you.
Okay.
Because I went in for my redo, my MRI redo.
Yeah.
And as you know, like I basically was assuming that I could potentially have another panic attack, and that
God,
I just don't respond well to this environment. And then I go in and I said to the technician, "Are you the gal that did it for me last time?" And she said, "Oh, no, that was her first time. She's never done this before. She doesn't know how to work with implants. She doesn't do breasts. She was having a lot of trouble with the machine." And I was like, I was trying to play cool.
Nope. Can we
was
sue?
That's what Adam said. You people are so funny. Because...
just for like grievances or mental whatever, I don't know, distress, pain and suffering, grievances. I don't even know if that's a thing. Like that's not even the right
Festivus
word.
rules.
Like something. Like you know the word. Like yeah,
yes,
pain and suffering.
Pain and suffering.
Oh my God.
Okay, so because I had said, "Is this going to be an hour like last time?" And she goes, "No, this will be 15 minutes." And I was like, "Oh." And she goes, "Yeah, that was because she had never done it before." And the lady on the first one never spoke to me on the intercom. You know how like they can talk to you?
Yeah.
And this lady, every 2 minutes, she was like, "Okay, Suze, we're going to do one more. Yeah. It's going to be about 2 minutes. You can take a deep breath." Like that didn't happen for an hour on the first one.
You had a bad technician.
And they all knew it. She goes, "It's been the talk of the lab." They basically abused me. Sarah, it was so validating.
I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to say things because this is a podcast, but I am in shock. How validating.
It's like you in the patch.
It is so you are not bad at MRIs. She is bad at MRIs.
This one was
great at MRIs.
No problem. This one. I was like, this is fine. What is the big deal?
I'll be honest. I was like, wow, Susie really does have a fear of being buried alive because this is like bad, but it's not that bad. But like,
it was fine. It was fine whenever I had a functional technician.
Wow. I am so sorry that was your experience. And I really feel like that should be something where like you're observed,
I would have appreciated
supervised. Like
there were two ladies in there. And clearly one of them had to have done it before, right? Yeah. Or they were both new. Get the fuck out of here with that.
No.
She was like, "We had a shortage that day." And she said, "I could do this in my sleep. You're going to be in and out of here no time."
Thank God. Thank God, Suze.
And so after each image, she was like, "Okay, we got a good shot. You're good, blah, blah, blah." I don't know the results
yet. That is the feedback that you want.
Yeah, just keep me posted in there.
Dude, oh my God, wow, this is good information.
It was an hour of terror and silence. And she didn't even get what she was supposed to get.
Oh my God.
But at least we know now.
You know, this may not be the field for her.
Yeah,
I would assume there's a learning curve, but
bitch.
like if you are operating the machine, you are already a technician.
Yeah.
Well, feels like
they did say she didn't know how to do boobs and implants, but you would still know how to work an intercom, you fucking fool.
Oh my God.
Get on the old mic. Tell me what's going on.
Yeah, or like, phone a friend. Ask for some assistance.
Do you know how to work a phone?
Right.
You moron.
Call somebody to help you out.
Anyway, so we both got validated with our medical issues.
See? And as a woman, that feels good.
It feels fucking great.
It does not happen often. So, I mean, we're always right, but we don't get the validation.
I just want someone telling me that.
Last time I had to have all my reproductive organs removed for it. So if we can have less of the, breakdown before somebody saying, oh, yeah, you're right, that would be good.
All right. Well, anywho, something that I can depend on and never lets me down is my Nutrafol.
Oh, that's for sure. Oh,
I mean, I always wear my hair back on this podcast because it gets on my nerves when it's down. But part of the reason it gets on my nerves is because it's so long now.
And listen, I know you love my new haircut.
Yes, I do.
But
you would like to grow it out.
I would like to grow it out. And
we did keep talking about that during your breakdown.
Was the freaking funniest when I looked at her with tears in my eyes because she wasn't there. She didn't get to see it, so she only got to see me on voice, like FaceTime.
Yeah.
And she just looks at me and goes, "Well, Nutrafol?" And because she's like, "We know that works. There you go."
We do know it works.
So I just love that in my own hair crisis, my girlfriend went straight to my sponsor because she knows
what's up,
what works. And she's hearing me talk about how not just me, but doctors and dermatologists and hairdressers.
We really should have said this is a hair growth supplement.
This is a hair growth supplement. Yes.
If you didn't know, if you're living under a rock.
Yes.
Because I had the great hair disaster at the salon 3 years ago, but now Sarah had this different kind of disaster where someone just gives you the cut you didn't want.
Right. When Sarah I said, hey, remember, I said, when I did my consultation with her, I said, I want it long enough to be able to put in pigtails so when I go snowboarding. And then as she was cutting it, I was like, oh, okay, like, don't go too short. She goes, I want to put, she goes, oh, yeah, that's right, pigtails.
She sucks ass.
She said that, like, after I had said, I want to put my hair, she goes, oh, yeah, pigtails. She said that, like,
you can't forget that.
I know.
Seriously, during your breakdown, do you remember when you go, pro tip, if you hate your haircut, don't go shorter.
Right.
That is a good rule of thumb.
That is good. So even during my breakdown. But if you did go short and you needed to get long, we have a solution for you.
Yes. This is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over 1.5 million people. It is science. It helps your hair. And it's the whole old classic. Do you feel like your hair is getting thinner? Do you feel like it's not growing fast enough? All that stuff. Take the supplement and you will feel better. See thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com. Enter our promo code BRAINCANDY. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code BRAINCANDY. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code BRAINCANDY.
Dude, I am... If it can get me to the point where I can pull it back or put it up or something...
You'll be happy.
I'll be happy.
All right.
One day sooner, it'll be worth it. Yes.
Totally.
I'm going... So, yeah.
Okay. Well, onward. Onward and upward. All right. Well, I got to also give you an update on the hawk.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, no.
Our hawk that hit the window and Adam drove to the sanctuary.
And if it was okay, it would be brought back and released
on our property. R.I.P.
Wait, that was it?
That is the update on the hawk.
That's the update?
They had to humanely euthanize it.
Oh, no.
I just wanted to, like, rip the Band-Aid off, basically.
You did it so fast, I didn't realize it was off. I always thought you were, like, giving me the list of, like, here's what could happen. They're either going to release it or it's going to be all right. Nope.
Yeah, they had to say goodbye.
Did they even, like, I don't know, like, did they let you know?
She just emailed me back. She emailed me back. Because I was like, hey, how's Susie the hawk?
They should have, like, feel like part of me wants, I don't know.
I
Can
know,
you
it's
make a
sad time.
necklace from the talons?
Or like a feather,
like
you
a
know?
feather. Like that's I want you to like use the feather to like sage your house or something. Or,
That's true. That would have been a nice keepsake because it really was a beautiful bird.
I mean, since it was well, it wasn't really murder.
It was manslaughter.
It was
It was bird slaughter.
it was humanely euthanized.
That's what she said. We did the best we could. I
You
know.
did the best you could.
Well, rest easy.
You wouldn't do
because-
anything different.
No, I wouldn't. Although I
Yeah.
would get the geometric shape stickers
Yes.
to hopefully prevent this
Well,
from
now
happening
you
again.
know.
Now we know.
Have you ever seen the online video that there was like something like that happened where like a bird hit the window and there were these like college guys, these frat guys who found the bird and they wanted the bird to they needed the bird to go to the vet, but none of them could drive. So they ordered an Uber for the bird.
Oh.
And then the bird,
And then they just left it in the
and then the
car?
bird was delivered to the vet in the Uber.
Wow.
And
Well, that's
and
nice.
we talked about this on the podcast because the guy
I remember that,
who
yeah.
had the last name Robin or something like that.
Yeah.
And
yes.
it's like, what? The guy's last name who saved the bird has a bird last name? Yeah, okay. This is a great story.
It tracks.
Totally tracks.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I did the best I
R.I.P..
could. Adam certainly did. He went
R.I.P.
above and
Susie.
beyond. R.I.P. Susie the Hawk.
Susie the Hawk.
Right.
I told you to not name your
I didn't do it.
I said that. I said don't name it after something that could die, and now it's gonna fucking
Yeah,
die.
you did. Yeah. It's dead.
Literally said that.
Dead.
Okay, well, I don't know where we go
Okay.
from here, but
And I know
Fly up
there
to
was
hawk
that
heaven.
one listener that always insisted, by the way, I'm changing the subject, that if I had a guest on the show, they wanted to know ahead of time. I don't know why.
okay.
They like to mentally prepare.
yeah.
We have a guest on today. This is my friend, Chris Dalla Riva, who has a book coming out called Uncharted Territory, What Numbers Tell Us About the Biggest Hit Songs and Ourselves. This guy
love
is so
this.
cool. He, during the pandemic, decided he was going to listen to every #1 hit on Billboard ever.
Whoa, that feels very Susie, like branded, like Susie brand.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like this is right up my alley
Yeah.
where he was like, let's hear all these #1s. Let's see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But he's very interesting to me because he is sort of a balance between someone who's very data oriented and
Mm-hmm.
someone who loves art. So he's obsessed with like looking at the numbers, how many weeks it was on, and how many songs with the word, purse have ever been on the Billboard top hit, whatever. But he also genuinely loves music, and so I love his Substack, and I have now read his book, and it's so great, and it's so fun to read. And so he's on the show later, and we're going to be talking about all the hits
cool.
and why he did it, and blah blah blah. And I did want to ask you one question about music, just sort of as an appetizer for him. He had done he does mailbag questions on Fridays or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody asked him if you could go back and listen to one song for the first time again, you've never heard it before.
I
what
know
would you
exactly the song.
You do?
I do. There is a
What?
song and it's so. I thought this change up in this song was so freaking cool that I wrote the artist and he wrote me back on Instagram.
No.
And his name's JID. And the song and it's just a song that it feels like he took two songs and mashed them up together.
Wow.
And it changes, but it makes sense. And when I heard it, I was like, my mind just, it was so fun and exciting to hear that switch up. And
It
it
was
was
so
so out
unexpected.
of nowhere. I was like, I have to write this man.
Wow, Sarah.
So I think that would be the one.
That is a really fun. Leave it to you to have an answer at the ready.
But what is your answer
I
for?
mean, truth be told, it would probably be God only knows.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
But beyond that, because people are sick of me talking about that song, probably scenes from an Italian restaurant or Summer Highland Falls by Billy Joel, a Billy Joel song. I remember when I first heard.
That's the good. Yeah, when I was. That's my next question.
I was working at a fruit market, and some employee left her cassette of his greatest hits.
Yeah,
and
that's the best.
Knew some of them because they're ubiquitous, but when I started playing it, there were ones I didn't know, and that would have been one of them. And I was like, "What is this?" And you know how it is. It lights up your brain.
Middle of the Road by the Pretenders is another one that did it for me. That when I was a little kid, I remember it because when you said tape deck, it was like, I remember the first time hearing that being like that.
What is this?
Dun, dun, dun. What is this? Yeah.
Yeah, and your whole brain lights up.
And you just want to listen to, and then, ooh, I want to listen over and over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah. Yes. That's the good stuff. That is the good stuff.
Man, what a great convo. If you are going on a date, or if you are, or if, hey, how to your partner, to a friend, to like if you're just hanging out with people, ask this question. What a great question to ask. What music is something that we all, even those annoying people who are like, I don't like music, and I don't know,
go fuck yourself,
who those people are, but like. Do you like sound? Okay, I mean, some is more pleasurable than others. So, like, what are the ones that are pleasurable to you? Everybody, you know, even people who are deaf have favorite music. They feel it's rhythm. It's
vibrations.
I love that. So
I love it too.
Ask this question. Good question, Sus.
All right, let's get into it a little bit here. Okay. This was just interesting to me. You know, like the trouble with dating apps, I mean, I'm sure there's lots of troubles with them, is that they are driven by algorithms.
Yes.
And they would argue that that's the beauty of them, that like you put in what you want and then they can find people that have that, blah, blah, blah. But like The Cut, I think it was, or New York Mag did an article about how people are starting to realize that these apps, which are for profit,
100%,
have like basically hacked the system so that the information that you provide to them is then actually used against you. So let's say you're a lady who wants a tall guy who is liberal. Then they will put those guys behind that special paywall.
Of course they are.
Of course they are. Why didn't we think they would do that?
Of course they are. Duh.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah.
And so Hinge in particular.
Ain't nothing free.
Yeah.
If it's
why would they be like, oh yeah, here's your dream man?
There is nothing that it just is not. It's not. That's not the world we live in. You know what's free? Trees,
nature,
sunshine, like grass,
hugs.
Hugs. Yep. Just about it. Stars, rainbows.
Yeah. Right.
That's about it, guys.
Right, and it's like, of course, why would they be giving away the good stuff for free? That makes perfect sense, but it's still gross.
Yeah.
So, like on Hinge in particular, I guess they have a system where you get one rose.
Yes.
A week or something.
Yes.
And they put these guys, they call them like, there's a name, let me see what it's called. Standouts.
Yes.
Standouts.
Yes.
And these are the people that are like, these are fucking
I believe
superstars.
that my girlfriend was in my standouts.
Oh my God, did you give her your rose, Sarah?
I think she may. I
She
can't remember.
was giving you a
went.
rose?
I can't remember which way it went. I should text her and find out. I
Yeah.
never remember.
That's
I wish there were a
nice.
way to find out.
One of you, but yeah, text her, but like one of you gave each other this coveted rose. Like since you only get one a week, this is like a special thing. But you can buy roses for $4 each.
$4?
Yeah.
That's insane.
So they find out what you are hot for. And then they put those in the old rose
So
bin.
that you want.
And you're like, well, I guess I got to spend $4 getting this pussy. Yep.
I hate
and
this.
so some lady decided to like create a hack and beat the system. And so that the people that she really wanted would end up not in the rose category.
How did she do that?
Okay, so first, they call it rose jail. Okay, let's see. First, you delete your profile completely and you start fresh. And you have to do it at noon on Sunday. Because evidently, Sundays are prime time for dating apps.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you use the typical mix of pictures of yourself that work well, like your face, your body, with friends, doing fun stuff that make you look interesting. And then you pay $30 to be super boosted. And so then you're more likely to show up in these people's feeds for a day.
Okay.
Then you don't interact with the app at that time, that 24 hours. Then for the next 7 days, you reject everybody in your standouts tab and your regular feed. So you're showing the app that you're active, you're on there, you want to know, you want to meet people,
like
but they're not giving them to you. They don't know. And then, but you're telling them, I'm not seeing what I want.
Yeah.
So then next thing you know, the app's like, I'll show you. And then you get just like an onslaught, and they are putting you in front of all these other people and then you're swimming in like options. I don't understand all this.
Wow.
But that's what they say.
This
so like,
feels far more complicated than like, going to a singles mixer and saying hi to somebody.
personally, that to me,
This seems like way more work.
I got hit on by Les, by the way.
Oh, when? Where?
I was at a bar with my friends, these guys, and this woman comes over, and she was so she was acting so familiar with me that I'm like, I guess I know her, but I can't remember her. Yeah. So I was like going along with it, and she was like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, hey, this is Joe and Steven. Like, because clearly she knows me. And then she said hi, and she's telling me the story, and she's like, oh, yeah, my friend over there, she's getting married, and I'm so sad because I'm still single. And she goes, she told me to come over here and make out with the prettiest girl at the bar.
Susie is getting... okay, listen. I come out of the closet again. And all of a sudden, Susie gets hit on at random places. Women are telling her that she's got nice fingers and nice digits. Nobody's talked to me about any of my fingers or digits.
I respect anybody that will go up to somebody at a bar. I
do too. She's got that. Whatever that is going to translate to like hot makeout.
It really helped because earlier in the evening, a man with almost no teeth said that I looked good for my age.
I mean, why doesn't he just murder you and bury your body out back?
Yep.
Because I'm dead.
He graduated in 2011. I graduated in 1997.
He can
and he had almost no
the
teeth.
biggest of dicks.
He really didn't even know
Why
he
does
was
he have no
insulting
teeth
me.
if he was born yesterday?
I guess meth mouth or something.
Oh, God. Listen, he doesn't get to go handing out compliments or anything.
Honest to God, I was like, man, like that is the fact that you even think there is a chance is so rude.
And what
God
does
bless
he think?
him.
What does he think comes after that? You like the when you okay.
Sarah,
if you
I know.
see somebody who happens to look amazing for their age, you say, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful."
Yeah.
And then
That'd be nice.
when you find out maybe they're however old, you go, "Oh, you look good for any age. Now I'm shocked that you tell me you're this age.
Yeah, we don't need the caveat. You don't have to even
you
say
look good
it.
for this age.
You could just be like, girl, you look good.
Yeah.
Just that. Why would you need to qualify it, dumbass? That's why you have no teeth.
I thought that was what my breakdown was about getting old for a second. I thought it was because it was the glasses and the hair felt like frump. And I thought, is this because I'm old? I'm aging? Is this, who am I?
I like aging. I think it's fucking great.
Now I love it.
Okay,
With the right hormones, we're great.
Well, in addition to the right hormones, I'll tell you what you
is.
need, and that is an air doctor. Sarah turned me onto the air doctor.
I just pressed my button this morning and was like, time for a little ionization. I don't know what it does, but it makes my air way more breathable than I think the air even outside.
No joke, because you know how we don't have windows that open, too?
You need it.
I'll say.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you got one.
Me too. Sarah kept talking about it because she's been working with them on This Changes Everything. And I was like, what's the gal got to do to get herself an air doctor? So now I'm on board.
Yeah.
And like, we all spend so much time indoors. And so like, it can be real polluted in there.
It is very. And if you are somebody who has like allergies or if, here's the thing, I was one of those people who's like, I don't have allergies because I thought allergies was like sneezing all the time.
Right.
I didn't know that could also be like, do you have a little bit of a cough every now and then? Or do you get like sinus infections that maybe are more frequent? Or turns out it's the air you're breathing in your own home. And since I live in an older house, I have one, and I love that I don't see little dust particles all over the place.
Yeah, it's awesome because this, unlike most purifiers, this captures the invisible particles 100 times smaller than standard. Is it called HEPA?
Yeah.
HEPA?
Yes.
Filters. And they were voted best air purifier by Newsweek. And 98% of their customers say that their home air feels cleaner, safer, and healthier.
And voted best by my brother, who is a mechanical engineer who builds HVAC systems.
Oh my God, that's actually really cool.
I know. And he said, oh, this is the good one. And he's on the spectrum. So, listen to him.
For real. Head to airdoctorpro.com. Use promo code CANDY to get up to $300 off today. Air Doctor comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, plus a 3-year warranty, an $84 value for free. Get the exclusive podcast-only offer now at airdoctorpro.com, airdoctorpro.com. Use promo code CANDY. You will love it. All right. Anyway, moving on about my lesbian lovers and stuff. Did you watch the John Candy documentary yet?
No, I didn't even know there was one.
Did you not see the trailer?
No.
Oh, Sarah,
How did I miss that?
it.
Oh my God, I could have really used that because I instead watched the BTK. My dad's the BTK
I did too.
and the True Haunting.
Oh, okay. You're in spooky mode.
Yeah, Netflix has given me a way different suggestion list than it's given you. I would have liked John Candy.
This is Prime Video. So I have been waiting for this to come out because, he is a delight, obviously.
Yeah.
And, okay, here's what I'll say. The documentary itself is like... It's not like really great in terms of the way it's made or even the storytelling, but John Candy is so great that like every frame you're just like, I love him.
Yeah. Oh my God, me too.
He's a doll.
And an actor that can work. You know what really does it for me? What says every single thing, like I think summarizes him so well, is that he was an actor who, oh my God, it makes me want to cry, who works really well with kids.
Yes. Sarah, I'm so glad you said that because I'm sure you're referring to Uncle Buck, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that movie so much. He's so funny.
You will love just even that part of it because Macaulay Culkin is in it. In the documentary, and he's being interviewed about it. And he said as much. He said, it is not easy to work with kids.
Yeah.
And John Candy never talked down to them or sort of like diminished them or dismissed them. And he had just a natural way. But you know how Macaulay Culkin had that fucked up dad?
Yes.
He talked about how John Candy must have sort of dialed into realizing that Kit Culkin was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And was always asking Macaulay, like, you okay? You okay? How you doing? How are things at home? What's cooking? He knew.
I'm going to cry.
And Macaulay was like, he cared about me when not many people did.
Oh, that translates to, like, what we saw.
Yeah. There's, like, a depth of spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why it makes me emotional.
Well, probably because you could relate to wanting an adult to care about you when you needed it.
Oh, that's really sweet. And I could just see, it's really special for, like, a man to be like that, you know, to, like,
this is what I'm saying. This is why I am obsessed with Fred Rogers. It's why I'm obsessed with Steve Burns from Blue's Clues.
Yeah.
There is a depth of spirit, particularly with men, that is very moving and beautiful and meaningful. And I wish there was more of in the world.
Totally. And you can tell when somebody has it, they, like, have it. And you're like, oh, you have that thing. Like...
That, I want more.
I do
want
too.
More of that.
Yeah. Oh, and
it's
then it
great.
makes sense that those they're you know not long for the world sometimes because.
Well, that was what was really shocking is his dad died at 35.
Oh wow!
From a massive heart attack.
Wow. Okay, so genetically he was like. This was, oh my God.
And he's one of those people that made everybody feel special.
Yeah.
Was sort of obsessed with, I mean, I know this is stupid, like, but I really do try to make my life about seeing other people.
Yeah, and you're so good at it. I always feel seen with you.
And, like... thank you for saying that. But also, like, like servers and, just people you encounter that are working and you want to say, like, you want to acknowledge them and humanize them and whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. And that he was doing that and that when you're a people pleaser in Hollywood, it is risky business.
People will take advantage of you. And and if it means probably saying yes to a lot of people at the detriment of yourself and your own, your own, like.
That's what he did. They said all of his flops were because he did a favor for somebody that he cared about. That, like, people would be like, hey, can you, like, do a cameo in my film? Or can you, like, do this part? And he'd be like, yeah, sure. Like, he just wanted.
Because he wanted that.
Yeah. And that he was very much, like, aware of other people taking care of themselves. But then, like, he'd be, like, smoking and drinking and be like, that person's not taking care of themselves.
Yeah. Because he did see other people. And sometimes it's hard to then, like, give that to yourself. Or
I think, too, what you will appreciate about it is that, like, all that freaking footage of interviewers being like, how about how fat you are?
No.
Yeah, and
of
then
course they did.
watching
what a horrible time. Oh my God, that breaks my heart.
Like just watching his face over and over get broken, like his heart get broken.
Yes.
By people saying like, how about how like
I can't.
You're so fucking fat.
That's crushing. Like.
And he was very sensitive.
It seems like it because it's not like Chris Farley where he made the joke and he leaned into it. And I'm sure he had some sad feelings about what people said too. But it was different. You could just sense like I could imagine the crushing like.
And like my whole sense of humor is like I find it really funny when someone's annoyed. That's like what I love. And that's why I love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, because that's the entire plot.
That movie is so good.
But what is beautiful about the film is what John brought to it, and that depth and this sweetness inside of this annoying guy, where like, oh, you want to like get inside of that? Yeah. Well, be prepared, because it'll break your heart.
Yeah.
That is really beautiful. Yeah. And he was able to accomplish that while not compromising the comedy.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
It's not. It really isn't. Oh, man.
You got to watch
I'm going to bawl my eye. I'm crying right now. This is with my stable hormones.
I do feel like part of why it wasn't like the best film ever, though, is because he was just like a regular guy.
Yeah.
Like, he just loved his wife and had kids and had this career. What made it remarkable is the stuff that's like sort of percolating beneath the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's true for most people.
I like the archival footage. I like all that. Like, who else do you think we would put into that category of like...
Richard Kind.
Who's Richard Kind?
He's that Jewish guy that's in like Curb. Google him. You'll know him right away.
Well, and his last name is Kind. I mean, what the...
Oh my God, right. He falls in line with the... With the, Susie's Theory.
Absolutely. Richard Kind is that person. Yeah. That is so funny, and that is so accurate. Good.
Well, I think a lot about Richard Kind.
It's like...
I just think, what a guy.
He's so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like often people who were characters in Pixar films, like.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And like, that's why I brought up Steve Burns, the Blue's Clues, because he has that podcast out, and everyone keeps sending it to me because they know I love Fred Rogers, and I'm like, yeah, Steve's my guy. I love that guy. Right. He's his doll baby. But there are certain people like that where you're like, oh, there's somebody in there that is got stuff cooking that is there's a sensitivity. Mm-hmm. And that can be really hard to deal with as the person.
Yes, it can.
But if they can like sort of harness it, they usually bless other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who else do you think falls in that category?
I'm trying to think of women.
Well, it's because it's most of them.
Well, yeah, but then there are ones that like transcend like where it feels a little different, where it feels like Betty White or like Dolly Parton, where they feel like saints in a way, like mm-hmm. It's a different feeling. Mm-hmm. Oh, why does this make me emotional? It's like,
why does it, Sarah?
I don't know, because it feels like we need more of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me sad what you say about like sometimes they're like the people who like we're talking about like celebrities. Yes, mm-hmm. We're talking about celebrities who like had a gift or like were able to like use like a humor or something like that. But there are just like kind people that you meet, like, you know, and you're just like I can tell you're a really kind person, and I think that we just need to like more of those, you know.
That's why I always liked going to the Phil Rosenthal pizza and movie nights.
Yeah,
because whenever you are in Hollywood, those people stick together.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And help each other and like support each other. And so it's always usually like, oh, okay, you're in the group of people that are not dickheads.
Yeah.
Right?
I'll say there was somebody that I met at like who just like showed me how to dance at our line dancing thing, where it felt like that too, where it's like, this is just like human kindness, and like we need more of that.
Yeah, we do. Oh. Sarah, this is why like I cried about the guy that was mean to me, because when you put yourself out there,
right,
when you're willing to take it, be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Sometimes people spit in your face.
Yep. Yep.
And you have to decide if it's worth it for you or not.
Does that, make you want to shut things down and be closed off, but it shouldn't.
Yeah. But you can pay a big price for it. And I do think John Candy did. Like,
Yeah.
I think that the tender spirit and then the choosing of that career, maybe it wasn't the best combo.
Yeah. I can see, and you can see it. You can see, like, I've met people who are like clinicians in the therapy world, or like former supervisors, where I'm like, yep, you have a heart that is like so big that it's going to come at, that you are the one who is like it's so big for others that we all need a little bit of selfishness to survive. That's the air mask thing,
Yeah.
It's really what that is, and why it's so important, and why, like, because maybe John Candy or whomever would think like, oh, it would be too selfish of me to take some time off for myself or to do this for myself. But in reality, a selfish act in the past could have been what had kept him alive longer or healthier longer, or something that is really the opposite of selfish, So sometimes we have to be selfish in order to be selfless, and sometimes selflessness can actually be selfish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know it sounds backwards and confusing.
Yeah, they were talking about how he would stand outside and like sign autographs for 3 hours, and that is so generous. But then on the other hand, you think, oh, well, you could have been with your kids.
Yeah.
Right. So there's always a choice that you're making.
Right.
If you're giving to this, then you're not doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like
saying yes to this, saying no to this. Right.
Well, I'm telling you what I am saying yes to, and that is therapy. And this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. As you know, they have been with us for a really long time, and we love them with all our heart because everybody should be saying yes to it. Everybody could use some help, whether it's just like stress or relationship stuff, family stuff, grief. They have experts in every area that can help you. And we are constantly squawking about how important therapy is, and it's true. And you're going to go check it out, and you're going to be like, why didn't I do this sooner? It's so easy, and you can find exactly the type of therapist that you are looking for. And you know how it's that time of year where it starts to be dark all the time? Like you wake up and it's dark. It's like 4 p.m. and it's dark. And sometimes that can really affect people. So it might be the perfect time. And we're moving into the holidays. You know what that means. So this month, don't wait to reach out, whether you're checking in on a friend or reaching out to a therapist yourself. BetterHelp makes it easier to take that first step. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/braincandy. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/braincandy.
But anyway, I do think you'd love it, and he did seem like a real original.
Yes, I'm definitely going to watch that.
Okay. What did you think of the BTK one, by the way? The documentary you watched. That was on Netflix.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. I thought it was, it's a lot of the stuff I think from your like work you've done and the book we've read and your talks with her and him. And it's
what's your sort of like, I don't know, analysis of like what the fuck was going on?
Yeah.
Because this was a documentary focused on his relationship with his daughter and his family.
Yeah.
And trying to parse whether he was using his family as like a front
cover, right?
Or whether it was compartmentalized and he truly did love his...
I think it was compartmentalized.
Yeah, I think so too.
I really do. I think it was, that there was a part of him that well, we all have different parts of us, right? And different things feed those parts, and there are the maybe some parts of us that we don't want to keep alive, so we don't feed it, and then it dies, and then that's great, and we heal. But if there are parts of us that we should not be keeping alive and we keep feeding that, then those grow almost separate from that maybe other part of us that needs to be fed by something different, which is that need for connection and maybe need to be a pillar of the community and have this role of this like that feeds something.
Yeah.
And this other stuff also feeds that. The part to me that was like a real, the detective said it, and I would agree, that is that like when they started peeling back the layers, then it's like right in front of their face. The kill kit in the family closet, like I knew where every single thing in our entire house was growing up, and there wasn't an inch of my childhood home that I didn't rifle
there was off
through,
limits or something.
that I didn't explore, that I didn't know, like, oh, that's where this is. And I would definitely fucking know if there were a bag with handcuffs in it by the front door, and I would have some questions, even as a child.
Do you think this was sort of brazen, or do you think that he knew no one would even notice?
I think it was. I think he started to. I think those two. That one urge became more. One urge was stronger than the other. The thing that he needed, because he had been feeding that desire, that side, for a long time, that was then reinforced, and he needed that more than he needed what family provided him. And so it like switched, and that attention that he was getting was probably more and it's like his little secret. There's like a lot of that. Yeah, that whole, like, I could see it being very like tantalized, like exciting and arousing for him to be to think that he's getting one over on these people.
There was a real arrogance to him.
Yes, it's an arrogance.
And that's why, like, when somebody else tried to say they were the killer in that early one,
like,
he was like,
no.
excuse me, don't take credit for my murders.
Right.
And then he developed that relationship with the law enforcement of like writing letters and thinking they had a trusting relationship and all that. When he would write to me, he included in it this form. It was photocopied. It was something he clearly had sent to anyone he communicated with. That was like a list of rules.
Yeah.
That I had to follow. And
he likes to be in control.
He's the boss, yeah. And that, you know, there were things that he expected of me if he was going to be writing back. And all that stuff to me is so fascinating.
It is.
I think we're probably going to talk about some of it in a few days at our spooky spectacle.
That's going to be so cool.
We were like, we should do some serial killer stuff.
I mean, the material is there.
It's there. We do have stuff.
You got the stuff.
Because it is interesting to see. And I know, like, it's hard for this
I'm fascinated.
daughter. Like, I feel very bad for her as a person.
Yes, I do too. And I think about what kind of woman and type of what personality type would marry a man like that. The kind that probably felt very much like she needed to be led. And so I think about that daughter's strength from being to be able to break free of that and tell your story, and even though she didn't like how it happened, and I think that I give her so much credit because she's the only one in the family that's doing that. There's another child.
Yeah, there was a brother. Yeah.
Yeah, and that to me, that I didn't know. That and that is more peculiar to me, that brother and mom are silent.
Why?
Because I
Do you
mean,
think
I
it's
get
just
it.
because that's our impulse? Is always like we're reality people. Like we disclose.
A little bit, but more like it just shows that one person could be that there are multiple victims in any person's evil crimes. That to me it seems like that still the mom and the son are still in some way victims of him and the mind control and manipulation or whatever reality he created that made them feel like they have either a loyalty or like there's just a lot there. I think because it's very rare that we don't hear like something, just like anything.
Yeah. They may have like shame feelings. Yeah.
But I think that they are still so fresh in that they haven't even started down that healing journey maybe. And that the daughter's a little further down that and able to maybe look back with a little more like perspective and reflection and awareness, all that kind of stuff. Insight. Yeah.
Well, I do think people would enjoy it if they want to watch that. That's on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I just want to introduce my friend, Chris Dalla Riva. We're going to talk about his book, Uncharted Territory, which you guys should check out. And the link to buy it will be in our show notes. And I hope you enjoyed that interview. And yeah, that's all I got. Anything else you want to say, Sarah?
No, I can't wait to hear this interview.
Hi, welcome to the show, Chris. Okay, I'm talking to Chris. Uncharted Territory. What numbers tell us about the biggest hit songs and ourselves? Okay, I'm a super fan. I love you with all my heart. You're so special, and here's why. You're so unusual to me because I feel like often people fall into like they're numbers people, like data people, or the arts. And you're like, no, not me. I'm going both. Do you find that's unusual?
I do find it very unusual, and this was a big conundrum for me growing up. I was like, I mean, I was always a good student. I liked going to school, and I was always like, well, I like to read, I like to write. I was like, but I also sort of like math, and for most people, it's one or the other. So it's nice that I've been able to combine these two interests in a way that I think they live in a nice harmony. But yes, certainly unusual for most people, especially because there's a lot of math phobia out there. So I try to present it in a way that's not going to make you think of your high school algebra class.
Yes, you're successful because it's accessible and it's very understandable to people, regular people like me. And you're so effective in showing your point and showing what matters and how it happened. And it's not easy to do because I notice like when you're constructing, like say a hypothesis, you'll test it and then something will seem wrong. I remember when you were looking at, I think it was the one hit albums.
Yeah.
And the first go round, there was a lot of Spanish language albums, which is fine, but it wasn't sort of getting at the essence of what you were trying to ascertain. And so you'll sort of like eliminate these outliers that are fumbling with what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Do you think that's difficult? Because it seems like it would be.
Yeah, I like to, I guess there's, excuse me, for people that write usually with a quantitative edge or write with numbers or data, the two approaches most people take is I'm going to just present you the pristine results. What I like to
Right.
do is sort of present you my thought process because I think the way you figure this stuff out is interesting in its own right. And a good related example to what you were saying is a couple months ago, my coworker jokingly said to me, "Who's the biggest two-hit wonder of all time?" So seemingly this is a very simple question. It's just like look at the charts, find artists that only had two, say, top 40 hits, and sort them by popularity. And that's what I did on the first pass. But when I did that, it said that the biggest two-hit wonder of all time was Pink Floyd, and I was like, that can't be right. Why is this happening? And it's because
Why did you feel like it couldn't be right?
because when I'm thinking of like a one-hit wonder or a two-hit wonder, I'm thinking of not an artist that's going to sell out stadiums.
Right, but wait, is Oasis a one-hit wonder? Because I think they are.
And this is also
In the U.S.
In the U.S., I think their highest charting hit was Wonderwall, which was a
Yeah.
top 10. They didn't have any other top 10, so you could make a case in the U.S. they're a one-hit wonder.
I don't think they had any top 40.
Offhand, I
you
don't.
know
I don't
everything.
No, I don't.
Don't listen to me.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have any top 40 hits in the U.S. But
But at any rate, something like Pink Floyd or Oasis, okay, maybe technically they may be this or that, but that's not what you're getting at.
Yeah,
right?
and it becomes like when I'm thinking about my coworker asking me this question, who's the greatest two-hit wonder? He's not thinking I'm going to come back and say Pink Floyd. Like
That's right.
that's not right. It's not the right answer. Pink Floyd has sold 100 million albums
This is what I
or-
love about you. You're
or
like, that's
whatever.
not right.
Yeah, this is what keeps me up at night. So then I like to present that wrong result or the result that's not exactly what you think it's going to be, and then say, okay, how are we going to revise this to make it more in line with what we're expecting? So then
Yeah.
I don't remember. The next step was like you had to have two hits, but you also couldn't have had a top 10 album. And then suddenly Pink Floyd falls away, and you're left with a group like Aha, I think. Take On Me, obviously
Right.
huge. And then they have another smaller hit. In Europe, they're much bigger, which I actually learned during this process that in like Northern Europe, they had like multiple number one albums. But in the context of the US, perfect two-hit wonder territory. And that feels more right than Pink Floyd.
Yeah, and when you relay the information to your friend, they would say, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense," right?
Yeah, there were a couple others that were on that list that he said felt right, like Crowded House. I don't remember the two songs. Um, Dido, or I never know if it's Dido or Dido.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
You was a
And
really
White
big hit.
Flag. Or no, wait, was that like in
Yeah,
parentheses?
yes. White Flag and Thank You, I think were the two. And she that's another perfect example. Like didn't have any other hit songs in the US. So I'm like, all right, this is never had like a huge album. She's well known enough, but
Right.
is, I
She
think,
sounds like a two-hitter.
two-hitter.
Right. And that's
So-
why I so appreciate both the book and your newsletter, because it's not just sort of spitting out, here's the result. It's just synthesizing the information in a way that people actually want, and it provides them with what they're actually getting at, which not many people could do. So it's so fun.
I appreciate that. And that's what I think that on the surface, I sometimes don't even like to say that I write things with data because I feel like data numbers will throw a lot of people off. But we're not doing calculus here. It's usually just like a line chart that's illustrating.
Yeah, it's like a visual.
Yeah. And that,
Yeah.
I think, for once people read it and they see what's going on, it's actually something that's easy to grasp. And I think the nice part about starting with from a quantitative perspective is like, of course, there are certain questions we can't answer. Not everything can be quantified, especially in the musical world. But it at least gives you a jumping off point for you to say to me like, oh, you're wrong or you're right, and here's why. Whereas if I'm just, having a bar room conversation about the greatest bands of all time, ultimately we're just going to argue back and forth. But with certain things that are measurable, you could at least say, that's not right, and here's the reasons, which that's what I like about it.
Well, and that's what you do so well, because you're the metric you're using is arbitrary. You could have used any number of things to sort of tell a story, but for you, it was about these number ones over the course of the Billboard history. And so it's definitive in the sense that these are the number ones. And
Yeah.
but then you're providing a cultural context, but then also pointing out the ways in which it's imperfect and that can never be like this was the best song, period,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, that was the impetus for the book. Was I didn't set out to write a book. I was just decided I'm going to listen to every number one hit. I always played music, played in bands, and it was more of like a musical exercise for me. As I would listen to one song a day. A friend did it with me. We'd both like rate the songs. I would track the ratings. I mean, totally subjective, but it was, it was like a communal thing. We would get to talk about music every day.
Yeah.
But then over time, because I've always worked with data, I started tracking other information about these songs. And I noticed some trends and I was like, I should write about this. And slowly it morphed into this big, what I call data-driven history of popular music. But ultimately, I try to stress these two sides. I think popular music is as serious as death itself, but also it's popular music. It's silly. There's silliness to a lot of it, and you have to take both of those. You have to like truly believe both of those things. I think to
That's right. I agree.
have written a book like this is like I believe these songs can like save your life, but I'm like also I'm talking about Disco Duck and random Katy Perry songs. You have to have a sense of humor about it too.
And yes, and you're effective in doing it and showing the importance, but also like let's not take this too seriously. And you do so chronologically, and you're starting at the very beginning of the Billboard charts and work up to present day. And so in that early era, I really enjoyed your conversation or your discussion. I felt like I was in conversation about covers and how they were such an important and substantial part of the rankings. And I think it was 42% at that time. And what surprised me was that you said that actually brought greater variety to the music. I was wondering if you could talk about that.
Yeah. This is one of my crackpot theories that, well, part of it's not a theory. There were certainly more cover songs throughout the first half of the 20th century, to the point where I mentioned in the book where you could look at the Billboard charts in a single week and you would see multiple versions of the same song. And
Right.
the joke I half make is like that would be like when Snoop Dogg released Drop It Like It's Hot, if in the same week Kanye West and Eminem put out their own version. Like, it seems ludicrous, but this was a very, very common thing at least through the 60s. The Beatles' early records are packed with cover songs. A lot of those bands that ended up writing their own music started out covering other music because that was the tradition at the time. The reason I claim that I think it could lead to variety is because of course there were covers where people were sort of just doing the same exact rendition of a song, but you will see songs reimagined in lots of different styles. And the example I use in the book is Blue Moon by the Marcells. They imagined the song Blue Moon as a doo-wop song. It was not written as a doo-wop song. And if you go back the decades before that, Mel Torme does a version of it. Billie Holiday does a version of it. It's like the theme song to a television show. It was like everyone is going to do their own version of Blue Moon. And if you want to take a hack at it, I mean, you could just redo it in a style someone else has done, or you could try something new, which was what happened in the Marcells, which the Marcells version is ton of fun, great cover. And I feel like you see that with a lot of covers at the time, is people will do them in different styles, which I think leads to some variety.
And you're sort of just poking at this idea that the music at that time was homogenous or, didn't have enough variety. And you're saying, well, there's more than you might think.
Yeah, when I started learning about popular music, I felt like the idea that I always heard was like it all started with the Beatles. And you listen to people talk about the Beatles, And listen, the Beatles are one of my favorite bands. They're tremendously influential and important.
I love that you have to still say that.
I know, because I do love the Beatles. I don't want to sound like a Beatles hater. Uh,
Oh,
but at the same time, it's like the people have made music for thousands of years. It's not like there was nothing before the Beatles. I mean, a
and
big
I think
example.
that was one of your really effective points too, was that the Matthew effect. And you used the Beatles and Dylan to demonstrate or illustrate that the work that they did in the Beatles case of like writing their own tunes, which was less common before them, has been they've become a symbol, and
Yeah.
people maybe are overstating their influence in that way.
Yeah, the Beatles were basically since the 60s, if you want to be taken seriously as an artist, you have to write your own songs. This is it's like half a silly idea. I mean, Frank Sinatra didn't write any of his own music. Elvis didn't really write any of his own music. We don't take that music less seriously because of that. But in this post Beatles Dylan world, if you want to be a serious artist, you write your own music. That's why to this day you see Taylor Swift making it clear like she writes her own songs because she's not just a pop star. She is a serious artist. But to your point, I think the Beatles, tremendously influential. Because they're so famous, we probably ascribe certain influence to them too much at times. And we see this in the data. One thing I track is how often were the person who performed the song also writing the song and also producing the song. And in the decade before the Beatles start releasing music, there's a very sharp increase in artists writing and producing their own music. And these are like your early rock and roll stars, your Chuck Berrys, your Little Richards. So the point I try to make is that we definitely it simplifies things if you can be like this one person showed up and suddenly everything changed. It's a little bit less glamorous if you're like, oh, it was a sort of a slow evolution over
There's
time.
nuance, right?
And then the Beatles really galvanized that change. But the Beatles are part of a long musical heritage. I mean, those early rock and roll guys were their heroes, and they did everything that they did just by being influenced by those people that came before them. So I like to dispel this notion that like nothing was going on in the early 60s before the Beatles.
Yeah.
There's always good music and there's always bad music happening at the same time, and
And
number
they
one hits
were,
are great at that.
I mean, they had such an effect that then everything else can be dwarfed and overshadowed, and those things are still important. So that's what I appreciate about you, though. You're not saying they aren't great. You're just saying here's some more info about what was going on, and they're a part of a larger movement that was in the
Yeah.
works before them, right?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
ultimately, like the reason I think the Beatles are great is like you could remove all the historical context. I'm just like the songs are good.
They're so good.
That's ultimately what I really like about the Beatles. It's cool that they wrote their own songs, but I don't think personally that matters as much to me as that when I turn on the songs, they make me feel a certain way.
Well, and I do appreciate that you said how you brought up Sinatra as like that guy wasn't writing his own tunes, but we still acknowledge his importance and talent and all of that. But then you sort of contrasted it with the Monkees, which I love because I love the Monkees, and I'm mad that they're not in the the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yet. And justice for the Monkees, but like, why do you think that is? What is the line between Sinatra and the Monkees? Just sort of like they were slapstick TV guys?
I mean, the comparison I want to make there is that both of them didn't write their own music. I see other arguments that the Monkees shouldn't be taken seriously as like they were put together for a television show. But what I try to say is that, all if you're trying to make something that's popular, you're ultimately working within, a capitalistic system that forces you to behave in certain ways and try to make money and turn a profit. And all popular music operates under that paradigm. Of course, the Monkees being put in a group together and a television show made around them makes it seem like it is less serious. But I don't think that that's a reason to criticize the music that they make. You could just say like, I don't like the Monkees' music. I think that's a completely valid
Right.
criticism. You could be like, this is a stupid song.
Yeah.
I think they have a lot of great songs. I think trying to contextualize it like that we shouldn't take it seriously because it came from a television show is a
That's why I
perspective
love
that I
that
don't like.
comparison because lots of people don't like Sinatra, but no one's like, so he's garbage. They're just like, that's not for me. Whereas when people don't like the Monkees, it feels like they say, and so no one should like them because they were cast rather than.
Yeah. Also, I mean, those Monkees number one hits from the late 60s are
They're
top
bangers.
tier. Yeah, they are. They're top tier. I think the Monkees' biggest issue was Jan Wenner, the creator of Rolling Stone magazine, just
Yeah.
hated them, and he was, he had a big role in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and
Yeah, well,
I think it was
Jan
like
has some problems
Yeah.
himself,
yeah, but I think
but
it
we
was
don't have to get into it.
a personal vendetta that, a very influential guy, and what is serious music and what is not.
I've had it with that guy. Okay, this is totally an aside, but just because I thought it was funny, it does feel like you have a particular disdain for Herman's Hermits.
I will not hide my disdain for Herman's Hermits.
I'm
They
glad we're getting it out right now.
not a good band. Very popular in the '60s. I think the only
Peter Noon is still ringing at Sponge. I'm almost impressed. He's on Sirius all the time.
I mean, I have nothing but respect that he was able to turn that into a career. I just think it's bad music. And I will say I like the one Herman's Hermit song. I don't know what the exact title is, but it's like something tells me I'm into something good.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
Uh,
But you don't like
Carol King
Henry
wrote that.
VIII too
Henry
much.
VIII. No, that's an abomination.
Or
Mrs.
the other
Brown.
one?
Mrs.
Oh,
Brown,
yeah,
you've got
yeah,
a
yeah,
lovely
yeah.
daughter.
it's too British or something.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, the British people have created a lot of great music, so I won't.
Yeah,
I
but
won't.
that's real British.
Yeah, I won't slander the whole the whole
country.
island.
Yeah, let's not let him take them all down. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's stay on topic. Okay, so I was hoping you could share this concept that you so beautifully described of like copyright stuff with copyright versus copymight.
Mhm.
Because there is such an important element, not just of like, capitalism at the core of all of this and publicity and branding and all that, but also law.
Yeah, copyright is fascinating to me because it's completely necessary. I mean, in the 1800s, like for a while, music wasn't even something you could copyright, and people who were performers or early songwriters really, really got screwed.
Yeah.
They were making no money. So I mean, copyright is it's a very necessary way for the music. It allows the music business to exist. I think the problem that we've had with copyright is over the last 100 years, copyright terms have been extended tremendously. I think the initial terms was like 14 years, and then you could, after 14 years, you could say, okay, I want to pay whatever a fee is and extend my copyright another 14 years. Slowly this expands, and you get like 28 years with a possible 28-year extension. We're at the point where copyright lasts the life of the artist or writer plus 70 years, which is a very, very long time, to the point where, like, I think the example I use in the book is if Adele lives to the average lifespan of a British person, like her great grandchildren could still stop someone from trying to sample Rollin' in the Deep in like 2150 or something.
It seems a lot.
Yeah, and I mean the idea with copyright is you want to incentivize people to create things so that they can be rewarded for their creations. It's the same way our patent system works. You know, if you create a new, I don't know, light bulb, we want you to be able to make money from that. We don't want other people just to steal your invention, and you don't benefit from that at all. Songs are the same, but these terms have become so long
Yeah.
that it leads to like perverse outcomes where you have the children of long dead artists who are suing other people who supposedly have infringed on their copyright. Famously, Ed Sheeran was sued by the descendants of, well, first the
Marvin Gaye, was
Marvin
it?
Gaye estate,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and
Who is that? I feel like there was one before that.
yeah, I mean, but this is the thing is if you have a really popular song and someone thinks it's similar enough, it's I guess it's not a bad strategy to try to sue and
It's
get a
not a
little
bad
get a little
strategy if they can do it. I mean, why wouldn't they? But it's maybe not great that that's the way it is.
exactly. And I the reason I say those terms are too long is because the only people it's benefiting are people who are already, for the most part, very successful. The large majority of songs after, I say after 50 years, after 10 years, are not generating any income for people. So you end up with a situation where you have large corporations who are going to buy up millions and millions of copyrights, and they will try to enforce those copyrights as much as they can, even
I
if
don't
that
love
means
it.
preventing other people from making things. I also think I think it's bad for younger artists because if Universal Music, for example, can purchase up, again, millions of copyrights and just make money off of those going forward, there's not much of an incentive to invest in the next generation of talent because these
Yeah.
copyrights last so long. I mean, you have 100 plus years of
Yeah, this is silly. It feels like it should be closer to what you're saying about, like, when you make a pharmaceutical, like
yeah,
there's a period
patent.
of time in which you can make a lot of dough, and then it expires, and then people can, you know, make a competitor, or in this case, maybe use it for something more beautiful.
Yeah, it's and listen, I get it. Like it's tough to make money in music, so you don't want
Let's
to
do a
cut
compromise.
you don't want to cut off a revenue stream like that. I
Yeah.
understand how certain
How about 80
people
years? That seems like a long time.
80 years is a very long. I would be much more amenable to that. I'm also very amenable to the initial idea where it was you got it for a set time and then you had to elect to extend it because that just
Oh,
allows more stuff to enter the public domain. Like if I'm making no money from something
yes.
and I'm not going
Give
to
it up.
extend it, yeah, you sort of
I think maybe you wrote it somewhere that somebody put on their website, like, you can use my stuff.
yes.
I can't remember who it was.
What's his name? He just died.
And he seemed like a doll.
Tom Lehrer, I think that's how you say his name. He was like a musical parodist. He made all these parodies in the late 50s,
Yeah.
early 60s. But he was a mathematician at Harvard, so he had this very short,
That makes
successful career and then just went back to teaching. And after a certain point, he just put on his website, he was like,
Just take it.
you can use any of this. I don't care.
That's so sweet. I love that.
Yeah, most people aren't like that, especially when you can sell, if you're Bob Dylan, you can sell your catalog for $500 million. I mean, there's a strong incentive to not put your music in the public domain.
I guess it just feels like, I don't know, whatever. But like, so, when I thought of Jim Croce, I was reading about him and your thing, how, Time in a Bottle came out after he died and whatever. And then he died so young. And so like his thing's going to run out way sooner than his contemporaries because they may live a lot longer. It just seems so weird.
Yeah, they try. I guess they try to navigate you the life plus a certain amount of time. Whereas if
Yeah.
it were just a set period, it would be like you said, 80 years. It would be 80 years, whether Jim Croce lived
The end. Yeah.
till the end of it,
Regardless.
lived for decades, or lived for
That
one
seems
more
fine.
day. But it's a hard, if not impossible, problem to solve because there's like international
Yeah.
agreements that because they want
Right.
copyright to be respected across borders. It would be, I think it's bad. I think it would be very difficult to change. But I think highlighting the problem is a first step.
Right. Also, I've already kept you too long, and I'm going to keep keeping you until you're like, Suze, I've had it. But, because like I love talking to you. I'll try to wrap it up. Okay.
No,
Here's
you're
what
good.
okay. If you do have to go, just freaking say it.
I
Okay.
will. I'll just shut it off.
Feel like I've had it. Okay, so one thing I really loved that you talked about was how there's these gatekeepers sometimes that want to put boundaries around what something is. In this case, country music, right?
Mhm.
So those fucking fools, what are their names? Ride a cowboy people. And like Jim and Dunn or whatever. What the hell are they called?
Big and rich, I think.
That's it. And they're like, don't like Lil Nas X because probably because he's black, but they act like it's because he's not from Nashville. And they're acting like, hey, if you want to be a country star, come to Nashville and BBB. Okay. So so rightly put, how these limitations are not like, it's arbitrary and it's subjective, right? And so then you have like Kenny Rogers' song Lady that is only considered a country song, really, if we're honest, because he was a country artist at the time. And there's nothing about this song that says this is a country song. It's a ballad or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
guess I just want you to expand on it.
Yeah, I think genre is really fascinating because when we talk about musical genres, like we're usually I think in the book I say in the abstract we're supposedly talking about like what instrumentation are you using and how do you sing and what are you singing about? And when you think about country
Yes.
music, there are certain instruments. You probably think of banjos and fiddles and people singing about beer and trucks and whatnot. So there are definite genre signifiers
Yes.
that point towards country music, but genre is so historically wrapped up in race and gender that we don't actually think of it like that. I mean, if you turn on country radio today, there's countless songs you're going to hear that I don't think are remotely country, but we call them that
It's
because
like signaling.
yeah, exactly. And if you historically, I mean, there was music made by white people, marketed to white people, which was for one time called hillbilly music, which eventually became country and western, and then shortened to country. And then you had music made by black people, marketed to black people, which was originally called race records. And
That was shocking and new information that you provided, by the way.
yeah, and Billboard eventually they had a race records chart, and they just changed the name to rhythm and blues, which became R&B. And I mean, there are certain qualities to music that I think legitimately qualify as R&B, but still to this day, I mean, we will group people racially with their music. Whereas if you turn on an R&B station, you're mostly going to hear black artists. If you turn on a country station, you're mostly going to hear white artists, even if a black artist were to make a country song.
I've heard there were some recently in the form of Beyonce.
Yes, Beyonce was caught up in this controversy where she was not getting any of the much respect from
Darius Rucker does. He gets some respect though.
Yes, I mean there are certainly people who have broken through these barriers, but it's still very uncommon.
It
And
kind of
again,
feels like the PM Dawn thing though, where it's like if you play by these rules, these unspoken rules about like behavior or beliefs, like PM Dawn did,
yeah.
then okay, we'll let you in this little club, right?
Yeah, no, it's just I just think it's fascinating that historically, like these genres and other genres were very clearly just arbitrary racial categories, and there's been tremendous progress in race and gender relations over the last 100 years, but we still see the remnants of a lot of this stuff when you look at genre and how people talk about people that make certain styles of music. Like it has not completely gone away.
Well, and that's what I really loved about when you talked about SoundScan in 1991 when the the way that the Billboard charts were quantified was actually with numbers and data rather than sort of self-reporting by record stores and things. And the way in which that official count exposed the biases that were happening up till then.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
this was a historical complaint. There's like great examples of Motown artists being like, I should be charting higher, but Billboard is not surveying record stores where black people shop or
Right.
people who aren't white shop.
Yeah.
So, just for a little context, before 1991, the Billboard charts were aggregated in a perfectly valid way. They would call record stores, survey them, and ask them what's selling, and they would use some magic formula after that to construct the charts. Obviously, this is subject to manipulation more easily. You could have the people at the record store lying to you or making stuff up. You could have people
or
at
just
Billboard.
like human error, you know?
Yeah, totally. Fudging
Yeah.
numbers. In 1991, Billboard switched to this system called SoundScan, which just logged what was actually being purchased at record stores when like the barcode was scanned.
Point of sale, right?
Yeah, and overnight the charts changed dramatically, and you had, funny enough, rock music up to that point and certain styles of pop music were dominated the charts, and
They
then
were
overnight
crushing it.
you had a tremendous amount of country music and hip hop on the charts, which is sort of funny given our last conversation. And you had, that's you see in the 90s. The 90s are dominated by artists like Tupac and Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, but at the same time, people like Garth Brooks and Shania Twain. It exposes the biases we have towards how we count things and how we categorize things, and it's supposedly more accurate now, but it's interesting to see like this natural experiment where overnight we get more accurate data, and it's like, oh, we were miscounting things in ways that were not good up to this point.
I'm sure there's all sorts of ways that there's still problems, but it's at least it feels measurable in certain ways now.
Yeah, the people I know some people at Billboard now, and they take great pains to do good, accurate work, but
I appreciate that.
it's a hard job. I mean, especially in this day and age, people listen to music in so many different ways than
Right.
in 1990. It was you buy the album or you listen on the radio. Now you can still buy stuff. You can download it digitally. You can stream it. They try to take all of this together and figure out what's actually popular in the United States or wherever they're charting music. It's not an easy job.
Just as an aside, do you believe the mythology of it's oft repeated about how like for the Christmas holiday in whatever year, I don't know, 92 or whatever, people bought their kids Michael Jackson's Black or White,
Yes.
and then over the holiday break, the kids returned it and bought Nirvana, and that it was like this sort of defining shift where like the parents thought they wanted Michael Jackson and the kids really just wanted Nirvana, and there was like this return sale. Do you think that's made up? What? Did I
don't
make that up?
I haven't heard that. I don't
Oh,
think
okay.
that sounds totally I don't think it sounds fantastical. I think that sounds like something that could have happened. There's
I
like
hope
old
it's
jokes,
true.
old jokes in the record business that like certain records would ship platinum and then they would be shipped back platinum too because so many would be returned or not purchased.
I'm sure there's something to that.
I mean, Michael Jackson, tremendously popular no matter how you
For
slice
sure.
or dice it, but there was a sea change in the early 90s with what was popular, where some of
Yeah.
Michael Jackson's
It's-
music I'm sure came across as like passe.
Yes, kind of. I think it was in High Fidelity about Stevie Wonder. I just called to say I love you. Like the girl comes into the record store and whatever. It's sort
Yeah,
of like
yeah.
that idea
Yeah,
where it's like, no,
definitely.
you don't want that. Okay, I'll wrap it up. I swear. Are there
Okay.
any lady Swedes, like the Max Martin, Dr. Luke-esque people? Where are the women in the Sweden music biz?
Good question.
Are there any?
There are women, successful women in Sweden. The men have been so successful that a lot of the, I think, women get overshadowed. But I think
It's like ABBA,
yes,
right?
Tovlo, she's a singer, Swedish. I believe she's Swedish singer songwriter. She had a couple hits.
Tovlo?
She's done a lot of songwriting. She's
Okay.
very talented.
All right. Well, I'm gonna. root
Though
for
this is
her.
my own bias, like I can't
No.
give you a whole name, a
No,
list
I
of
don't think it is.
names
I think
either.
there isn't any, but I'll look into
But
it.
there are successful women out of Sweden too. I mean, they have a rich musical culture, but it was certainly, like a lot of stuff, it was, at least from the 90s, it was a boys club for writing.
Yeah.
As I talk about in the
they're
book.
crushing it. I'll give them that. Are
Yeah.
you did a poll on your Instagram about Taylor Swift having Max Martin produce her next album. I voted no because I love Max Martin songs. They're bangers. They're like the catchiest darn things you ever heard. But like, I don't know, it irks me. But I think you love it. Do you love it?
I think Max Martin's very talented,
He
and
is.
there's certain stuff about him that I don't like. Like for his, as I talk about in the book, his songs, like lyricism's not as important.
Right.
I can't always get past like the silly lyric that it sounds nice to his ears, but the lyric makes no sense.
Yeah.
And structurally, all of his songs are the same. It's always about building up to a big giant chorus. Of course, there
Yeah.
are many ways you can structure songs. So I think he's a fascinating figure, clearly very talented.
For sure.
I mean, I'm interested to see what him and Taylor Swift cook
Me
up.
too.
But also, he's been around for 25 years. I think it's we need some new blood sometimes too.
Okay. My love affair with the one hit wonder.
Yes.
And I want to know if you have a favorite.
Good question. The one I keep talking about while I talk about this book, I think it's a one-hit wonder. There was a number one hit in the early 70s called Want Ads by a group called
Yeah, I love that one.
Honeycomb. And I'm always like,
Yeah.
this song is absolutely rips and it has no cultural footprint. And I'm on a
Yeah.
quest to
Oh
get
yeah,
more,
you want to like make it a thing. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
get more
Okay,
people
I'll
to
help
listen
you.
to Want Ads. I think the band technically had another hit, but for all intents and
Well,
purposes,
you and
it's
I
a one
feel
hit.
like have different metric because I think top 40, but I think you said top 30 in your newsletter, man.
Yeah,
What's
I
that
don't.
about?
Why did I say top 30? I
I
don't.
was like,
I
oh my
don't.
God, he's got this whole thing I don't know about.
No. That was. I ultimately it's like even 40 is arbitrary. That's what I think. Top 40 was just a radio format, but yeah, I
You
said
say in the book that it's about that guy said it was like how many are on a jukebox. And I was like,
that's
I don't
the
even know if that's true, but it sounds interesting.
yeah, that's the story with how top 40 was
Yeah.
quote unquote invented. It was like this guy
Yes.
Todd Stores was at a diner and he was like afterwards, after all the customers left, all the waitresses kept listening to the same songs over and over again. He was like, maybe I could program a radio station to just play the same songs over and over.
It's not a
And
bad idea.
No, I mean, clearly it's worked. It's very
Right.
it's very popular.
Right.
But yeah, the story was that he chose 40 songs because that's what fit on a jukebox at the time.
I really loved
I don't
hearing
know.
that.
I don't know if it's true, but it's a nice story.
I don't care. It's true. It's so great. Okay. I will let you go. We do have one question we ask everybody on the show. And
Sure.
if you happen to have a car, what do you keep in the trunk of your car, Chris?
I have not been a car owner for many years now because you don't technically need one because I live in Hoboken, but I
Do you
moved
have a
in
backpack or something?
with I carry bags a lot. I'm a frequent user of New Jersey Transit and the MTA
I
in New
love
York
this.
City. But
yeah. What do you carry in that bag or whatever the equivalent would be?
I usually carry a book with me if I know I'm going to be out for a while and I'm going to be stuck on the train. Maybe a liquid of some sort, usually water. But I moved in with my fiance a year ago, and
Devin, she sounds like a doll.
yes, she is a doll. She
Yeah.
has a car, so
Okay.
and I often joke with her that I have not seen her drive the car since I've lived with her because she always goes heads to the passenger seat if we're going somewhere.
What's in that trunk?
Her trunk is, I don't want to call her out, a little messy. We definitely have a couple pairs of shoes in there. I don't know what they're doing there. There is the thing you could brush off snow with on your car.
Scraper.
Yes, a scraper. That's the better term. And a couple bags are always back there, like for the grocery store. Nothing too exciting.
If we asked her, what do you think she would say is in the trunk? I feel like there would be different things that she would say. Like she would make it sound.
She's in the other room. I could ask her. We have a question for you.
Hi.
The last question on the show is always, what's in the
Wait, tell
trunk?
her she's pretty.
You're pretty.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Is always, what's in the trunk of your car? And I gave an answer for your trunk, and they want to see if you're going to give a different answer.
Oh God. Well,
Yeah, what's in there?
right now it's Halloween decorations.
That is totally different.
I said there were shoes back there.
Shoes.
A scraper.
There are right.
Grocery bags.
Yeah, and I said grocery bags. I forgot about we store
Yeah,
some
but
things.
she knows the right answer. She's giving the lady answer.
Did you tell her what's in my back seat?
The boot.
My boot.
Oh, there's a boot from when she broke her foot in her back seat. But that happened
Okay, that's
eight
important.
months,
Year ago.
8 months ago. So if you
These
know
are the
someone,
answers I'm looking for.
okay,
Yes, thank you. Tell her she's a real trooper.
you're a
Say
real
it.
trooper.
No problem.
All right.
She's so upset. She hated every second of that. But it did prove my point, which is that like the lady knows what I'm getting at, which is like we have a theory that it's like where you are in your life. Like what's in the trunk of your car. Like if you have a new baby, people have like tons of baby crap and all that.
Yeah.
And Halloween decorations, how could you forget?
Oh, we do store certain things at my parents' house, and we did just acquire the Halloween decorations again last week, which I did not
and the
own
recovering
Halloween
foot.
decorations before living with her.
Exactly.
So
She's bringing so much goodness to our show and your life. Thank you so much, Chris. You're a treasure, and your book was fantastic. And I will do anything to help you sell copies forever. I love you.
thank you. Yeah, Uncharted Territory. Check it out. If you can't find it, I'm an easy guy to find, and I will get the book to you if you ask.
Yes, and we'll put it in the show notes. We'll have the link, and you got to buy it. All right, you're off the hook.